Hey everybody, it's Atheist for the Cause here, and I've got another video for you. This one is about in a Nebraska soccer team tournament bans an 8-year-old girls team because she quote-unquote looks like a boy. The family of an 8-year-old soccer player said her team was disqualified from a tournament in Nebraska because organizers thought she was a boy. Miley Hernandez, who is one of the best players on the Omaha Azurii Chacheros 11-year-old squad, was about to play in the finals of the Springfield Soccer Club tournament on Sunday when she was told that her team had been disqualified because she looks like a boy. Hernandez's parents said they showed organizers her insurance card to prove their daughter, who wears her hair short, is a girl. Can you imagine that? Going to an 8-year-old girl's soccer game and having to prove that your child is a girl, like unexpectedly? I'm surprised they even had anything on them. Just because I look like a boy doesn't mean I am a boy, Miley Hernandez told the local TV station WOWT6. Great point. They don't have a reason to kick the whole club out. And that's another thing. They could have easily just said, you can't play. Miley's father, Gerardo Hernandez, said his daughter was in shock. She was crying after they told us. They made her cry. This is actually what pisses me off about this whole thing. You don't have to tell her that she's disqualified because she looks like a boy. This is an 8-year-old tournament. This is supposed to be for fun. It's not a big deal if a boy sneaks on a girl's soccer team anyways and then wins. Sure, you don't want that and it sucks for the other girls, but there's really not a whole lot of harm done. You tell a girl that she looks like a boy and you can traumatize her at 8 years old. I mean, this could do real damage long term. Hopefully she's got thicker skin than a lot of people of today, a lot of kids of today, because it really isn't a big deal, but it can feel like a big deal to a kid at this point. After receiving the news about the disqualification 4 hours before kickoff, Gerardo Hernandez showed tournament officials Miley's health insurance card to prove she's a girl, but they didn't even want to take it, he said. I mean, I don't get it. To me, this screams corruption. Someone had, parents were, knew an official or something and had been complaining and challenged this, and it's almost like this had to have been prepared or something. There's no way that... not no way, I guess, but I'd be extremely surprised if they just showed up, saw some girl player that they thought looked like a boy and disqualified the whole team based on it, and then ignored, insurance cards that said otherwise. I mean, people fake their identity, but who fakes their identity to say they're a girl over a boy at 8 years old? I was mad. I never had the problem before. She's been playing so long in different tournaments, Gerardo Hernandez told the Washington Post. I don't want no problems with nobody, but that wasn't the right way to treat people. Exactly right. That's not the right way to treat someone, especially how they did it. And the other thing, the right time to challenge whether she can play or not is not, going into the tournament final or whatever. The right time to challenge it is at the beginning of the season or somewhere even the middle of the season. But once it gets to the postseason, just let it go. I mean, you didn't challenge it this entire time. Why would you start towards the end? After hearing Miley's story, U.S. soccer legends Mia Hamm and Abby Wambach showed their support on Twitter. Hamm invited Miley to her soccer academy, and Wambach sent her a message. Those are both really good players, by the way, but Abby Wambach is the best woman soccer player ever to play for the United States. It says, "Hey Miley, we would love to host you at one of our camps. Team First SABU. And then Abby Wambach said, Miley, don't ever let anyone tell you that you aren't perfect just as you are. I won championships with short hair. I like that point. For those who don't know, Abby Wambach is a short-haired lesbian that is very open about being a lesbian and is has clearly short hair and is an amazing women's soccer player. According to OWT organizers, told the Hernandez family that they can file an appeal to the Nebraska State Soccer Association to challenge the disqualification. So maybe this game can be played yet. Maybe I'm thinking maybe that's part of the reason they didn't play it without her, is because they wanted it to be appealed and then you can decide later, instead of like playing the game without her and then, once the game is played, you can't unplay it. So and if she was a part of the team, it does make sense to kick the whole team off, because you don't want to split the team either. So I can see both ways about, kicking the whole team off. But my main issue is like telling her she looks like a boy and just challenging her ability to play at this stage makes no sense, especially for 8-year-olds. The other thing is, like, is there even a big difference between boy and girl 8-year-olds at this point? Physically, after all, girls tend to mature more quickly, but boys do have different body structure. I'm not sure if it evens out or not. I guess I don't have enough experience with 8-year-olds, but I don't even think there's a huge discrepancy at this point. So anyways, that's that. And while, there's all these transgender issues and stuff, this girl is actually a girl. She's not a transgender. And, but this is how, if, transgender rights wasn't a big thing right now, you do have to wonder, would they have let her play and not made a big deal about it? And there have been a lot of like male to female players now. There was a tennis player in the 80s. There was an MMA fighter, recently. There have been other transgender players. Esports has had all kinds of transgender players. And I think in sports, a lot of times for transgender people, it isn't appropriate for them to play because of the body difference, especially male to female. But, this is a sign. People say, oh, it doesn't affect transgender rights doesn't affect other people. Well, yeah, it can actually. So, that's what I have to say about that. I think this is ridiculous. I hope they sue the shit out of this tournament and whoever's organizing it, because this is ridiculous. And they should appeal, let the game be played, and see who wins. Hey, have a good day, guys.